Good morning, and this is Jolene with AJeweldDesign. Hope you guys are all doing well. We're back for another week, and let me turn my heater off so you can hear me. All right, so I have a small reveal, and we have some small projects today. Sort of at a point where I'm about to start to work on a new kit. I had one more piece that I couldn't show you guys last week because I hadn't finished it. So it's sort of that let's play a little bit scenario week. So I thought we'd start off with saying good morning, happy February. January's come and gone. We survived. We made it. And now we're on to late winter for some of us. A lot of us are getting all kinds of snow. Finally getting rain in California. It's still cold out. Why not? Late winter, no spring in sight. I didn't even look yet to see what the groundhog said. Whether we have more winter or more spring, I'll have to check that later. But we'll find out, right? I'll have to put it in the notes whether... later in the video, whether the groundhog today said more winter or early spring. Right, watch, it'll say early spring and we'll rain through March. Let's just go with that. That will be the fun part. So, start off today, we are going to show you the last of the Spring Bunny sets. Last week I talked about the journal kit. I talked about the mini embellishments. I talked about the floral variety embellishments, talked about the background papers with the bright colors, bright pastel colors, and I mentioned about being a sepia set was coming out to sort of match the mini embellishments. I had a lot of people liked the cream colors, sort of the sepia tone, muted look for the bunnies and their elements. So I went ahead and made a tag and journal card set. And it's 4 pages. And it's the Spring Bunny sepia toned journal card and tag set. So like I said, it's 4 pages with a 5th bonus page of just this lovely paper. So you can print it on the back like I did. If you don't have any of this kind of paper, I would suggest printing it on your favorite paper. But if your paper is already cream, and this is a cream background in its elements, it may tone these out even more. So like if there's still too much color in here for you guys, and you want it really sepia, then print it on cream and it should either make this color brighter or it'll tone it out. So it'll be really interesting to find out. Because when you do, like you put on coffee paper for more texture, if you put it on another cream paper, so I don't know if this will either muddy it out more, tone it out more, or whether they'll pop brighter. Who knows? Every printer is different and every paper is different. So I'd almost suggest leaving them on white cardstock because I already have the cream paper. And because I give it to you in on page 5 of the PDF, you can print it on the back. And so when you cut it, there's no white showing. Well, not really. You have the same sort of paper on the back as you do on the front. And it looks like you just printed the graphic on a sort of parchment. Almost reminds me of paper bags. Old school paper bags type of paper. So you get that. So we'll start off here. These are my normal size medium tags. Again, I do 4 up. So you can fold them and make it, a 3-fold, 4 quad flapped tag standalone paper, especially with the cream on the back. Then you could decorate it up even more or write it very much journaling. Okay. And then instead of doing 6 little mini tags like I did last time, I doubled them, right? And did 3 sort of low scalloped, wide, I wouldn't call them tags. I'd almost call them pockets. Actually, they're just about right. So these would make great, cute little pockets. Decorate them up a little bit. If you wanted something to pop out, you could color it in a little bit with ink. You could do all kinds of things. But the mixed media art of it all can go forever. But these are more sort of tags. They are more like pockets, I think. I'm looking at them now. I'd almost think they'd be pockets. Really cute, especially if you had a bright background, something muted, or just another layer to your creamy Victorian vintage look. And speaking of which, it's raining outside. So yeah, these are definitely the pages sepia, and they actually, surprisingly, when I put them on the paper, really toned out. There's almost no color to them, and that's pretty cool. You got a very sepia cream toned look on these compared to these, which are just sort of muted out with the same effect. So totally different. So funny, right? I love it. And then here's your 4 larger cards. right? Gotta have the large. I'm gonna call them jumbo because jumbo would be a half page. So these are just large journal cards. And the 2 of them are horizontal and 2 are vertical. So you have the 2 bunnies that are in the horizontal, and then you have the 2 ladies, which they're with their clusters in the vertical sense, right? So you have cards going both ways, again, printed on the back. Then I went to use a little slightly smaller or normal size journal card. Still sort of big for a journal, just depends on it. But I have, in this case, we go 3 vertical for sure, 2 horizontal, and I wear, because of the shape of the, you would consider that horizontal too. So 3 horizontal and 3 vertical journal cards. So you have this little corner, you've got that corner, and then you have some pieces these are parts of the ones that I had created. Now this is actually a border that I used in this guy, in this lady with her full page as a journal space. And it's a little bit of work, but you could cut within here a little bit to make it sort of a jagged border, or just cut straight up and down, and you have a nice little washi. It is white, but on an edge of something, maybe really cold and layered over. Yeah, you wouldn't want to print it twice, but yeah, it's one of those things. I guess if you knew what you were doing, you could clip this out and you could put it on vellum and duplicate it and do all kinds of cool stuff with it. But these are all PDFs, so it's up to you, depending on what you're able to do, whether you can take that and work it. Because this came from one of my sites, and I don't know if I used the whole border or if this was just a single border, and then I created, I collaged it to make what I needed out of that one. So onto this one on the page. So, but I thought, you have to fill the space. You have to put something there. And I could have done a washi. I guess I could have done a belly band. I didn't think about that, but I thought sort of a washi tape border would be fun for something different that was just easily brown. And I want to keep doing paper after paper after paper. And you do on the back of them, when it's done, you will, oh, how funny. I was like, where does that paper come from? I was trying to die cut, snowflakes, apparently on this paper, and it didn't go very far, and it got meshed back into my allotment. I was like, what are those bones in the back of my thing? You really can't see them, but yeah, there's snowflakes in the back. That is hilarious. Anyway, but yeah, so if you washi tape this, you could just use the back. Now here's the thing: if you printed it and this didn't do anything for you, you could use the back side, of course, and you would have a very simple belly band that you could decorate. See, there you go, 2 for 1. And then I wasn't talking, and I really hope I hit the button. Oh, I did. Okay, good. I always forget. I'm like, did I hit it? I know I hit it. So then, sorry, the last is your trifold. 3 large tags, right? I didn't put them as close together this time, I realized. I think because of the way the paper is, the paper itself, the actual graphic is not straight. It is a little off, which is the whole point. So you could fold it. You probably have to distress it pretty good if you put them side by side as a standalone trifold. And decorate the inside or outside, depending. But otherwise, yeah, you cut them out. You hole punch them. Hopefully, that's a really large hole punch. So hopefully you have a hole punch for that, or you'll leave it and cover it and whatever. I didn't think about that. Like, oh my gosh, it's a huge hole punch, right? Did I put a hole punch? And I did finally put the hole punches back in these because I won in a couple sets. There's no hole punches in these. I was like, oh my gosh. All right. So there's your large ones, and I did just throw in for space 2 coins. These should be the 1.5-inch punches. I normally try to stick to that sort of middle ground. And I believe, let's see. Yep, 1.5 inch. So they're 1.5 inches. They fit beautifully within your hole punch if you have one. Whether you use Michael's Recollection or the EK hole punches, which are really good and really well priced for what they are. They're absolutely awesome. So, I try to make all my coins 1.5. Through that middle ground until someone says, no, make them smaller, and then I'll do the 1 inches. But you could have it bordered and go up to 2. I don't think 2 would be really tight in here to fit. I don't think 2 will fit because of the edges, but 1.5 is a beautiful cut. So this is the Spring Bunny Sepia Toned Journal Cards and Tags. So it is out on Etsy, up for sale. It's a great one more piece to add to your spring collection, your bunnies, your Easters, your spring, whatever you want to do. And just a little bit different tone to it, in case the brighter, hot, colors from Easter or from spring are a little too much, but you like the elements. This is a great sort of combination, right? So, like I said, I had a couple ladies who were helping me with it and helping me with the first kit, And when I did the little small embellishments, I did a couple of these guys little, and they're like, oh my gosh, I would love a whole set like that. So, and of course the house heater goes on. So hopefully you can't hear that too well. We'll hope that's louder than my foot heater. Okay, so what my thing is today, besides revealing this to you guys, was to do some working on some projects. So what I will do at one point, and maybe we'll do it now, is that I will go and cut all these out. And I have a thought, and I wanted to see if it was possible, knowing I have the tags to either use as papers or pages, the pockets, but I wanted to see with the cards if I could make like a small mini hinged or ringed journal, right? A little one. And using these guys as layers, using them as pages, using them as papers. I don't know. I had a thought. I mean, I have a thought. Doesn't mean it's gonna work, right? So I thought we would cut these up at one point get them all ready to go, so have all the elements. And we would start playing and laying out like the order of the pages and whatnot, and see if there's any possibility to take a simple journal card and tags and turn them into something more journal based, right? Finding a whole new purpose for these. Otherwise, they're great on their own. They will be inserted beautifully into any kit I have. But I was sort of wondering, right? So I'm going to cut those up. So I'll cut them up and put them aside, and then we're going to come back. And we'll do that first. I'm trying to decide. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to like debate. Do I cut these out, come back, and we try to sort of lay out and see what it's going to do? We've done that before with the botanical kit, where I sort of sat here and ran through with you the pages and the possible inserts and the type of textured paper I wanted. And of course, that poor project is still sitting. We hit Christmas, and that was the end of it. It was just trying to get all Christmas going. So we will come back to that kit very soon. I got to get a couple more digital kits out, and then I will be working on a very intense spring journal because I have so many pieces to make one or two of them easily. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to go cut all this stuff out. Then I'll come back. We'll sort of see if there's any potential here. And then I wanted to finish up with a new spin on the Valentine Mini File Folder kit. I made one, for a good friend of mine, sent it off. You guys saw that. I did it 2 or 3 weeks ago. And we sort of did the whole design with me, and we worked on a mini file folder, mini booklet journal, right? And that got sent up to a friend. Well, I still have the other mini file folder, right? The actual outline, right? But I wanted to make it sort of a Valentine card, more than just like say a mini journal. And I wanted to walk through you guys what I did with this and how I used the pieces to put some new elements, like a new way to use this kit, right? It's hopefully most of you have already figured this out and have found new ways to use it. But if you haven't, I wanted to share that too. So let me go cut this out. We'll see if there's any potential in here, and then I will walk you through some decorating and the layout of what I did to my mini file folder. All right, so I will see you guys in just a few moments. Okay, so we are back. I zoomed in and out, right? All right, so I got everything cut. And so I'm starting to question my thoughts a little bit. Right? The tags are great. The cards are beautiful. They're all cut out, right? So like I said, if you cut it, if you're good at what you're doing, better than I am, you remove all the white here, and you can't tell on the back that there's any misguided anything, right? So you have this wonderful all colored paper. So I figured, I had the 4 large cards, I guess, not jumbo, but large cards. It does make a very small mini journal, right? It's not very big. But there's something about that. I don't know. I can make it, wider instead of larger, right? So 2 hinges, I would think, or two rings. Don't need any more than that. And wide enough to where I could get quite a bit. I can get quite a few pages on that, right? So you don't want it too thin, and then there's nothing to it, and then that's right? The wider the better, or fuller the better. So that is my potential there. And I have a brand new, crocodile that will hopefully allow me to do the grommets to keep the papers from being like mismatched and all crazy and not like rip every time we turn around. So the thicker stuff, I'll put the grommets on if I can. Otherwise, I do have the whole protectors, and I'll distress them because I think I have them white for anything light and fuzzy that I'm afraid it's going to rip, right? We'll see. So this will be the front page, I think the front cover. Okay, at the back. I know these are sideways, but there's something about them, like lace and a vertical word. I think it's so, in my opinion, I like some abstract stuff. I like putting things sideways. I like turning things upside down. You know, I could go that way with it, but then, you know, you're here and I could decorate the bottom, but I like this one on its side. I know that there's a chance with the holes that, you know, it's going to have a hole in here, but there's something about decorating up that corner that just gets to me, right? I just love it. And then this one, sort of the same thing, but this one, yeah, I'd be more decorating up in here, right? If I wanted to, into 2 pages. I'm putting a word up here through the paperwork. And then the inside back cover, right? This will be the back, which is fine. No one's really going to see it. So this will be the inside cover where it's new, handmade by, digital is by, like whatever kind of like sort of who made it type tag up here, and maybe a little something down here to decorate. There's always already so much going on. But that would be a great place to put, you know, your ordeal. Now, with that, those are your 4 main pages. And on the back of the 3, we have all the room in the world to make the pockets on the other side to keep them like full again. I think the more we put on them, the heavier they are and the more stout they'll be. Okay. So with that, I have the cards, which are, make great, especially the horizontal ones, make a great half-page pocket, which again would really help make the pages feel a little thicker. So we can do it that way, right? There's that potential. Then I was also thinking, okay, so we were talking about there was supposed to be a tag, and I made them wide, and I went, no, I think it'll be great, better as pockets. I even at first didn't even cut them, right? I totally just went ahead and left them together and folded them. And I'm almost tempted on one page to leave it like this and just like decorate it and like pop it open so like a flip out. And, like that would be decorated, and that would be decorated, and I don't know. I'm really tempted. And then it leaves, look, when you open it, that could still be a pocket. Like I could still glue it down to where that's a pocket. And then there's journal space in here, right? You can journal on the back. It's decorated here, and it still has a pocket. So maybe on the back side of that outside page, you know, you flip it over and look, you have this, I don't know, I'm off camera, sorry. You would flip it over and you would have this, right? The only thing is worrying about it being sort of floppy and it, you know, sort of bouncing around in between pages. So I'd have to decide, and I have to keep in mind that I'd have to hope, when the grommet would be right there. So I'd have to glue it, pocket-wise glue it here, and then whenever I put it there, make sure it was narrow enough to go. So I have to keep that in mind too. Pop it open. I'm trying to think of how a good way would be to keep it closed. A tuck. I may be able to put a little like hinge piece like right here or something. Ooh, duh, right? Well, maybe not the same exact item because you never want to do that. But I don't think, oh, there's not enough room. I was like, oh, we could glue it on and it'd be a great little, make it, you know, it would tuck in. But I have plenty of paper. I could always just put a piece of paper here. Just right, maybe. There's some complications. I don't know. Because what you hate to do is have things fold open and it gets caught, right? So, even if it just tucked in parts of, you can't untuck that. Yeah, no. Well, it's going to be, I don't know. Here, see, this is where I don't have experience, and I start talking to death, and you guys you poor things. But maybe you'll have an idea. But anyway, no, I think it definitely needs, because it does open all the way out, we need to put some kind of, like, almost like a hinge, but instead of just be like a block that we could, that ought to be done. That way we could just sort of tuck this top piece into. So, okay, so that's a potential, right? But that's only one pocket. That doesn't mean, well, see, it wouldn't be bad, because then we had that for one pocket. We had these two for something completely unusual for other pockets, right? Or, let's see. So the back, so each page would have something a little different on the back of each one, of course. Like, you have the front cover, and maybe I put that and a different thing in it. This bunny one could have this one, right? And then that bunny had that flip out. So maybe that's in the middle. And then I have an extra one just to stick into something. It's all potential, right? Or maybe that's a decorative piece and we leave those all this way. But all my tags are decorative this way. So I'm wondering if like the more unusual, you know, ones are fun to have as your do with that and that. And then you have this one in the middle, which I believe is my bunny. Yeah, so this one opens up. You've got the pop out. You've got this one that would just allow something in. Yeah, because even like, you know, we know they fit inside each other. Doesn't mean I can't trim it down and distress it. I need to be a little shorter, which is the lovely thing about this is when you trim it down and distress it, no one knows where it stopped and started. So, okay, so there's potential, right? There's all kinds of potential to either square these because they are horizontal. It's not a bad thing for a pocket, but I mean, they're great for a pocket. It doesn't mean they have to be. Otherwise, I cut these 3 up. And each one is a pocket to the back, which makes them unusual, which does make it a really cool. Each page, no matter what it is on the back, has the potential of, hold on, put in the right order, right? So you have this, and each one of the first 3 has a pretty scalloped bunny on the back, right? Each one would have a scallop bunny. And this is the back page, so it doesn't really matter. Unless I could always, I don't know, I could do anything on the back on that one. Now, doesn't mean I couldn't flip it around and make this plain on the back, and then the back of your thing would actually be decorated, so the front and the back cover, to where if you happen to open it up, you know, where the you're hinged, you see that when you lay it out flat. I don't know. Now that has potential. So if I use those for that, then what I could do, this is where the whole layered option goes into play, where I could make this, see, they all have to be different sizes. Usually the bottom one's the skinniest one, I could cut this really skinny and try to make it a trifold, or not a triple, like, pocket. Are you really? And just make it like a loaded pocket. Skinny, then this one, and this one. But you don't really see these, and that's my, well, it doesn't mean I can't trim it down, each one down to their bare minimum, and then that way, like, well, that's potential too, right? Make that back page like a triple pocket with these graphics. Cut them as small as I can, so you can still see them poking up. But you're also going to load them with more goodies from top to bottom. So that's another potential, right? So there's potential to make this something small and cute. Really is. And then this could get tucked into this one on its side. Now, okay, so I'm trying to figure out journal cards to be used as pockets because they're small, right? And I have 2 more. Oh my gosh. But these are all vertical, so these would all actually get tucked into each one of these pockets. Like, each one of these could get tucked into one of those pockets. These 3 could then hold, if I want to cut these up, then each one of these could hold a tag. Definitely. Or make this is, well, you wouldn't do a triple pocket just to put all this in the back, and that would be really thick. And it'd make the back very heavy, so we wouldn't want to do that. But like I said, I left these together. They did fold pretty well and cut up. Again, I just left just a smidge more space than I should have, but that's where we get to distress it, right? So we have the trifold, which I may cut up to stuff in tags. The only thing I have left over that's debatable is this really large one, and I think this is something that really make for great standalone, where you do leave it a trifold, you decorate it up, you maybe put more papers on the back sides to make it even more journaly. And so that's something I'll probably play with on another day, where I'll make it just like an Eastery little notebook standalone ephemera piece, because I don't see it doing anything with this, right? Which is fine. That's the fun part. So these will probably get cut up. We've decided that we're going to cut these up and put in the back of each one of these papers, right? Pages, make a cute little scallop pockets. There's plenty of room, but I got to make sure I glue them down before I hole punch everything. Which is the thing, decorate all the pages up, keeping in mind there'll be holes in it, but you hole punch everything all at once. These guys will get tucked into these because they're all beautifully vertical. And in the back page, you'll be able to see the back of it on the back of the book when you decide to close it or flip it over. And you could trim these guys down for decorative, make it a 3-pocket to stick these guys maybe into. All right, little decoration and put them in there once cut up. All right, well, we've got something going now. Once we know we have these pages definitely sort of pocketed and layered up, they will weigh a little more. They will be a little more hardy, which is great. We still have these two to decorate with whenever and wherever I want, which is great. So here's what these two looked like. Again, if this was too much washi, too white, of course you can distress it. If you were decorating something, you would layer up with it. It's definitely white on that end. But look, if it just didn't fly for you, you trim off the side and you have a belly band to completely decorate however you want. Stamp it, tweak it, whatever, right? I'm going to show you really quick what the possibility is of this one if you did some work to it. Yeah, it's one of those if you sort of... I heard someone say kiss cut it. I'm not sure what a kiss cut was. Made me think that you just wouldn't quite cut it super on top of everything. So, I mean, it's possible. Those who love to fussy cut and are really good at it could do this. I'm not great at it. And I'm not purposely trying to get to the very, like, right in front of everything. Or right up against it, because I don't want to lose the brown line, because that is the part. So I'm cutting close, but not exact. Again, I think this would be really pretty on, like, a vellum or something, so it's sort of see-through, and you could still do this. Or even on a clear sticker sheet. Transparent sticker sheet would be really great. For a fun layer, like it would be a good thing to add to the edge of this without it showing. But of course you're gonna have it in the one corner, so I do know. Sorry. You know how, go into Photoshop, crop this one out of the PDF page, and see, I can't even cut up and around. I can cut circles one direction. I can do the curve one way, but not the other. And of course you can't see it on the back side, so I can't go flip it upside down. This is really funny. I'm left-handed, but I cut with my right, and there are times where that definitely hinders what I can do for some reason. Right? So weird. Alright, so it has potential, right? It's funny, like you have this all crazy. I just think about that, go, can I still use that? I may leave the edge on that one in case, so I decide how close I want to get. Whether I do this with lace overlap, you sort of give yourself some room to glue onto things, right? So there's the potential. It's definitely white. It would have been probably better if I put the paper behind it. Would have blended better. But, you know, it's all in hindsight. Sometimes I don't work on these things until after I release them to you guys and go, okay, what did you think? Or what should we do? But I'll make it work. I'll take the distress ink and I can distress over it. And like I said, if I do it and I just use it as a background and really layer it up, it would be a nice effect. So it's totally doable. Totally doable. We'll make it work, right? Okay, so the only thing else I had to work with on these would to keep the ball rolling. I had pulled some ephemera, piles of paragraphs. Which one was this? This was May 2020. And, oh, it's just a piece of paper. Her supplies in this one, though it look a little blue on the picture, are actually very in the creams, right? All these beautiful colors that I'm using. Maybe this one's a little white for the ordeal, but the rest of these do make a great pieces for this coloring scheme. So I may either take parts of these, I know I hate to do that, right? I'm either going to pull it apart and use the elements that aren't super white, because there are some really white pieces, which are great contrast, don't get me wrong, and put them on the tags to decorate, or I'm going to make a tag for one of those 3 pockets, right? We have plenty of pockets now. We have, what, I don't know how many pockets going on. So there's that. This was from May, piles of paragraph, that her May tag. And I saw it because I knew it was pretty neutral and it would go with any number of my kits. So now it has a potential of making something, right? So there's that. I'm debating on that. And there's even a pretty button in that one. So I'm working on debating on putting that in there somewhere, right? Tucked in. I received like a paper flip from the 16th page when I bought her one of her handmade journals that are all paper she made, and I already decorated up a little bit, so it's a little floral, but again, I like the colors. Really, like, I'd have to put it on a piece of paper and then we would just hole punch it in. It's definitely, you know, and just use it as a standalone, glue it on the back and just glue it as another page to sort of thicken this up. I made this and I realize now it is definitely too big for this kit. Darn it. It was a cute little page that I made. It's a book page pocket. And I had taken my stuff and had made some things out of it from my rosemary kit and my cottontail kit. And sort of do this cute little, one of my first folds. So that one is definitely too big and I have to cut it down, and I sewed it, and I don't know if I want to do that. It's pretty cute, right? But it's a little more fall. It does have the cute bunny, it's not a bunny, a cute squirrel in it, and it almost fits, still almost fit the theme, but it's a little orange. Darn it. Okay, but it's too big, so I'll put that aside for maybe with the other thing. So I wanted to, in the pages, of course, put doilies in there. I have this colored paper. A lot of it, and this is just a small like sample. I can either cut them like this and put them in, like rip all the way around and just put them inserted inside, or maybe I'm, you know, folding stuff on this side, just decorating up pages to put in the middle. It's a little, I could do 2 up and make pockets out of them, like find ways to use the paper to create more pages in there. I got a guest check-in, a little green, but I could definitely work it up. Maybe that's where I glue it to a piece of paper, right? Decorate it up, make it fit. I think it's a little tall though. Oh, maybe the bottom. Yeah, because it's, oh, it is too tall. Yeah, they definitely stick out, which a little is not bad, but even if I pull the bottom off, it might be too big. Oh, darn. We'll debate on that. I'm still debating on that. I do have more paper, which fits. When I trim, if I tear it, it'll fit sideways, which I'm totally okay with. Maybe we'll glue it together again and make another pocket this way, because these guys, don't quite fit. I could trim the bottom and top of one of these a little bit if I needed to. If I had an extra to put it in there, or I make something else, right? Make some pockets maybe on this side again to make it a little more substantial. Rip top and bottom, glue it. Totally would work, right? Okay, so we know that works. You know that works. Debating on the check. I have to see if maybe I have a shorter one, but I think it's pink. My shorter one is, I think my other ones are pink and blue, but that doesn't mean I couldn't colorize them a little bit and make them work. Okay, so that has potential. And then I had this, which I know is flimsy, but it's just a great something. I don't know. I had some paper that it's just more the tissue of it all and the lining. So maybe again it's gluing it onto the cream paper to give a layer. Maybe I put something underneath it, make it look, treat it like vellum, which I have vellum also. I have vellum paper that I use in almost all my other journals, so I have to pull that out too. So that is my potential. I don't know, guys, what do you think? I think it has potential if I can get enough different papers in here. Book pages, book page pockets, the tissue on paper, a lot of this paper, I think, as a backing to things, or by, you know, multiples of this. I'll get the vellum in here. I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep adding to it and see what happens. All right, so that'll be our ongoing project, I guess. In between everything, we will work on that and keep adding layers and pieces to it. So I'll start off with these 4, load them up with how I think, so I can see how they're starting to stack for weight, and then start putting pieces in there, right? All right, so this will be the ongoing project, a journal with me, Sepia mini journal, right? And we will see how this pans out. Like, it has great potential, I think. I really do. I think it has a lot of potential. So, all right, we will pretty much stick all this stuff together. This is what I do. I do this, and I grab one of these little guys and go whoop, so that I don't lose it, and in sort of the order that it's in, so I know the pages sort of go together. I don't know if these will stay on here or not. I don't want to lose them. Maybe not. We'll see. Right, it sort of gets in the way if I do them, but hate to lose anything, right? Well, oh, duh. Yeah, this girl is a dork. Go like this. Go like that. Ta-da! Right. So this gives me a good feel for how these work. So this will be fun. This will be. I was supposed to do this type of hinge. I keep calling it a hinge, but I guess it's a ring journal. I am still need to do my Christmas and my Christmas at your door one. In the same sort of the same concepts that I'm using definitely heavier papers and heavier cardstock for the Christmas one, and that maybe I'll work on this little one. It'll give me a good practice, and then I'll want to do my Christmas one. I have the Christmas one still to do, even though it's February, and I got the fall one, and not fall one, spring one. Okay, so there's potential for this. So if nothing else comes up, I will continue to journal with me as I go through the stages and get you guys quick little snippets, I guess. And maybe you'll get, like a bonus video of how this is going and what we're doing with it. And that will be a good thing, right? Okay, so real quick before we run out of time and you leave me, because I don't know how we're doing. How are we doing? We are at 21 minutes on that, 12 before. Okay, we're only at 30-something minutes. Not bad. Really not that bad. We would try to go for the 1 hour mark, Alright, so these two, take my other things and put them aside. Yeah, I have this box, and I mean a box, of spring botanical pieces. I have a container for Christmas and a container for spring. Oh my gosh. And then there's all the strips. And so I'm definitely having to make, I have a huge, container or thing of strips. These are all the things when you do the backgrounds and you print a background paper on the back side. You have all these strips when you're done. But it's ink. No one wants to waste ink. So, Gail saw the idea of the weaved paper, like tags and cards. And so I have a day where I'm going to have to do that. Maybe I'll just sort of piggyback off everybody else and we'll sit here one day. And I'm just going to take every strip I have and we're just going to start laying out, tags. And, but I just got to find the right, ooh, I do have the right. See, I have this paper that I bought when I was first starting to do a traveler's notebook. And some of these are really a little these are 6x6s, right? Yeah, 6x6s. That's what she was making them because they gives you two 3x6s when you're done. Whether they're journal cards, but I have that's a little dark. But I mean, I have bricks. I have the cream paper. I won't do it on that. But I have all these basic papers, backgrounds. So depending on the front, even the writing, great front and backs, right? You want to keep them sort of neutral on the back so that you could write on them, but when you're making targs, cards and tags, like that paper, right? You definitely want it pretty neutral. And some of them, even if you did it right, oh my gosh, it's 6x6, right? Oops, let's see, that page is loose. What is that? That one cube tag. Even if you did it to where, okay, it goes this way, you do it where it goes this way. Oh, wouldn't that be fun on the back though? You do the front. And when you cut your 3-inch, you have this right there on the back. Things like that would be really fun. Oh my gosh. Right? Okay, so, now I know what I'm doing with this poor, it's like, what am I going to do with all this paper? And, I remember now. See, that one I could just go straight on it if I wanted to, because I think it's, nah, it's not quite exact. But I could take the scrap, lower it to the back, make it a tag, and it's done. Okay. So, that's a fun project we can do later. A little behind the ball, but that is definitely what I'm working on. Okay, so let's go to the big stuff, or the next stuff. I said I have one more Valentine thing to make, and because I did the whole kit, and I made something out of the first one, and then you have the second file folder printout, and make sure I'm staying here, right? So what I ended up doing, instead of just, before when you made them, you had 3 of these little journal cards, right? They're a little smaller so you could layer the front with. And then I made them 2 of them a little bit bigger, right? Where they were right side by side. You could fold it in the middle, and it was the middle of your signature. So you had papers before and after it. You had this as your middle that you would decorate up the middle of your signature, and made this little mini file folder booklet journal. And I did that for the first one I made. But I decided on this one, I was going to make it a little more of a, oh God, I lost my wording. More of a card, with tucks in it. So more of like a loaded pocket type deal. A loaded folder, a loaded pocket, however you want to call it. So I did take one of these, which was sideways, which you can't see it now. They were side by side, and they blended just right together. And I cut them in half, distressed the edges, so you can't even tell they were together. This one I've already layered up on. It has just a rose in the background. So I took the scrap pieces, took my butterfly, did a little more pink to it, added on top, right? Still a little pale for this set, but not bad. This one I'm going to glue on here. I'm going to add some embellishments because these are going to be pockets. Like we did with the other cards, we're going to make them pockets to the back of the pages. These are stuff that I'm going to deck out these my tiny little scallop tags, okay, because these go perfectly inside of here. All right, so I got to decorate these up. This one's great because it already has lace within the collage paper. The collage tags have that, have a couple of them with that extra layer of on them. And I will add, I always cut things out, and then when I do, I can't get rid of anything. I have the hardest time. So I have all these little squares. I'll just distress that. Add this here, trim off anything that goes over, right? So sort of something like that. You know, distress the bottom, distress that, trim off whatever pops off. There's a cute little tag also. Those. Okay, so here's the big deal. So I did this. I sewed in a few papers just to give it something fun in the middle, but not so much to be a lot of journaling. It has a little bit of journaling, so if I want to write on it. But we took the second file folder, distressed around the edges, right? When you open it up, though, yes, you have this in the middle. I put a doily, I put a piece of paper, a book page, and another doily, right? Okay, find something in the middle. But here's the fun part. These two were side by side, right? And now I've cut them. I've put little notches in them to make it easy to open up. And I put a hinge on it. And now when you hinge it, I've got my Rita pocket, folded Rita pocket here. So I can write Happy Valentine's or home handmade by right here. To and from pretty much on it. I thinned out the third card, right? So I have one, cut that one in half, that's two, and this is the third one. And this one I thinned it up a little bit so I know it would fit in here. And I'm still going to decorate the top. I don't think I'll turn it into a tag, but I may trim it and make it a tag and decorate it up. But that fits beautifully there. This will be a pocket right here, right? So when you open up your hinge, there'll be a pocket inside with at least a tag in there. I probably have to find more paper and figure out other ways to put more in there because it's supposed to be a loaded pocket. So I don't have it loaded up. It has pockets with stuff in it, so it's lots of pockets. Lots of pockets. Lots of pockets file folder. So we'll have that. We have that. Okay. That'll be on that one. Close it up. Got your papers, which you could still journal a little on here, right? I could actually write maybe my Valentine note or card on the inside of here. This is going to someone who's been married for 43 years, together for 48. So she means the world to me, or they mean the world to me. So I might put their initials in there. I might write a little find a Valentine quote or two to write in here really carefully. So make it sort of a card. Make it a card. And then there's this side, right? There's the other Amour. Open it up. And on this side, so far, I'm thinking about distressing and doing this, and then putting the today's Valentine date on here. Stamp. What did I do with it? Stamp the February 14th on here. Antique. It's one of my labels that goes with my number kit. Of course, that's a cute. That she adores this little kit, this little group. So I wanted to have them represented since I have the dove represented. I have the cute couple represented. Have to keep going. And then on this side will be this guy, right? Which I'm still debating. And then these still need like lace and pearls and stuff like that. The pockets are definitely going to be heavily loaded and then or heavily decorated. And then that'll go in there also. Now I'll probably put a hole punches on there and put some lace or something on the top of each one of these. I'm still debating what to do with this one. I almost thought about folding it to make it another little card you could open up. Maybe I decorate like you have them on top and you have a saying or something on the bottom here, which then I get another graphic and I can glue it on there and I could stick it in there with the tag, right? So there's that potential. Now the only thing I realized was that these guys were really big, and except for, and they're part of the ephemera page of this mini kit, they don't quite fit. So I have to decide whether, like, I put it here and I cut her skinny, like you just have to trim her off a little bit, trim her arm off maybe. You could cut the heart out maybe, and then that way you get all, if you trimmed out around the heart and didn't use the heart, you just used the flowers in them, it would fit. So there's ways to get around that if I still wanted to use it on something. Oh, maybe behind, maybe it'd help behind. Then you don't really see anything else. Potential. Hundreds, if you're willing to trim it up, there is potential for more. Always potential for more, which is great. So this is what I decided to do. I hinged it out with pockets, put a little bit of paper in the middle, but a little bit more of a loaded pocket mini file folder card. So see, it doesn't even have to be just a booklet. It doesn't have to be a journal. It can be something totally different. I still have to do a lot to this too. I feel it seems really plain, so I feel like I either need something on the top. So I've got to find all of my lace, all my papers, every little thing, and see if maybe I make a little banner up here, like a fabric swatch. I don't know. You never want to like overdo something. I did that and was like, okay, but you know, yeah. What do you want to do? Or label it on the bottom. I don't know. It just has such much space up here. I just realized, and I'm like, something's got to go there. Maybe I find a vellum sticker or something that's, you know, maybe I make a vellum sticker that says Happy Valentine's Day on it and put it on the front. That's a thought. So that way it doesn't really take away from this, but it doesn't have such a bland space. And there's all the space in the back. Oh my gosh. But it's the back, so you don't want to do it too heavy on the back because then it like doesn't really lay flat. So that was my other project for today that I get to work on because I only have a week and a half or less to get this done. But I wanted to show you another opportunity and another option for the mini file folder booklet journal kit. What else you could do with it, you know, cut it apart and make more out of it, you know. And because when you trim everything, there's always these leftover pieces, like I said. The only thing I didn't care for was this over here, was that it blends with this, but not this, and this isn't very overwhelming. So it definitely doesn't hide it like the other front one does, even if I put stuff in it. So yeah, I'm debating on whether to, I don't know what to do with that. I don't know. Maybe it won't be so bad once everything's like laid on there. It won't be so obvious. It just hides so well over here, which is funny. It still sticks out, but I don't know, right? Little things. So there you go. Another option, another opportunity, another possibility of creating and being crafty. So I really appreciate you following along with me today. Like I said, we will definitely do continuous little 20-30 minute shindigs as I get things together here. As I get past the nilly-willy of it all, but like, hey, look, I got this added, and I added this page, or I'm decorating up these tags today. Something. I will have you guys follow along with me on this one. I will put a number on this reveal and journal with me. You know, the beginning of Sepia journal. And then I'll make sure that the lists from here on out have a journal with me, Sepia journal, like tags. So you can find them all at once and go through it with me. How does that sound? We'll give that a shot. We'll try to do a series. Woohoo! So thank you for coming along with me today. A little journaling with me, a little reveal of this new set. And another opportunity for Valentine's, right? One more moment. One more Valentine moment. Yay! Have to have them, right? So I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. I'm recording this on Groundhog Day, so hopefully your Groundhog Day was good. This will be probably aired 2 days later. I'm going to try to keep to my Thursday run. So we are consistent every Thursday. You know I have a new video out if I can help it. And I really appreciate you following along. Don't forget to subscribe if you came across me by accident. If you are subscribed, thank you so much for continuing to hang out with me. And I hope you enjoy this, and we'll keep crafting together. So have a great week, and talk to you next week.